Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Andy Curtis. I am the Learning and Development Manager here at Transfer Express. And I hope everybody is ready for 5 reasons to heat print, even if you have a screen printing machine. I hope everybody is having a great day today, and I hope that over the course of the next 45 minutes, you are going to learn something new, as always. I see a lot of new names on the list, actually, so thank you, everybody, for coming. The way this goes is I'm going to talk at you for about the next 45 minutes. If you have any questions about any of the topics that I do bring up, please do not hesitate to pop a message into the chat box there. Let me know what your question is. We are recording the webinar, and the recording will go on our website. So if you miss anything, do not fret. You will be able to watch it again. And you can even shoot us an email if you want a PDF of the slides. That'll work too. If I do not see your question, or if I go off on a tangent and don't get back around to your question, you will get a chat box message answering your question back. I have a helper behind the curtain who is going to be assisting me today. So if I miss the question, I don't get a chance to answer it here verbally, then she will answer it via the chat box. So, and there she is there. So with that being said, I encourage everybody to let me know if they have any thoughts or opinions or questions as we go here. And I hope we all learn something. This is a topic that we love here at Transfer Express. We do business with just about any type of garment decorator you can imagine out there. We do business with everybody from embroiderers to screen printers to schools. And there's definitely reasons for any business to continue to heat print, even if we do other decoration methods. And screen printers, we find, are a group of people that tend to ask us this very question when they meet us at trade shows or they call us for the first time over the phone. We tend to get that question, why should I use you? I already screen print. And you'll see today that there are a bunch of valid reasons, and hopefully everybody gets something out of it. So without any further ado, we are going to go ahead and get started with 5 reasons to screen print. 5 reasons to heat print, even if you screen print. All right. So on the agenda, we're going to talk about the line that we hear a lot. I can print that myself. When is it less to use screen printed transfers? And we're going to talk about individual names. We're going to talk about numbers. We're going to talk about full color transfers as well, and then those hard to direct print items. We know that the days of screen printing only the front of adult shirts are over. These days, there's a whole ton of things out there that people want printed on, and you have to be able to serve people just about any type of garment you can imagine. So a little bit more complicated than it used to be. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. First off, before we get into the wherefores and whys and all that good stuff, I just want to say for the record, screen printed transfers, when we talk about screen printed transfers, it really is screen printed, just to be totally clear. The transfers that we are making here at Transfer Express, they are screen printed using plastisol ink. We're using the same screens that you're using. We're using the same plastisol ink that you're using. We're doing all the same things. So it really truly is actual screen printing. Pantone color numbers are available for matching, of course. If you have a specific color that you need or a specific color your customer is looking for, we can completely accommodate that without any problems. And if you're looking to see what our stock colors are, we can provide you with those PMS colors without a problem as well. Our transfers apply in 4 seconds. So when we're talking about transfers, we're not talking about complicated application here. We're talking about real simple stuff. Our goof-proof screen printed transfers apply at 4 seconds at 365 degrees, and we call them goof-proof for a reason. And they are durable. They are used by major manufacturers and professional sports teams. Our product is something that you've seen before probably, or it's something that you might even have in your closet already at home and you just don't even realize it. Our product is used by people all over the globe. It is used by professional sports teams even. So when we're talking about transfers, we're not talking about those plastic things from the 80s that felt like a hefty bag on your shirt and came off in the dryer. Those days are over. So when we're talking screen printed transfers, we're talking honest to gosh screen printing that feels, lasts, launders, and acts just like screen printing does. Because for all intents and purposes, it is screen printing. So now that we have that clarification out of the way, now that we're all on the same page with what exactly we're talking about product-wise, we're going to go ahead and talk about when to outsource. Okay, so when should you do transfers? You've got your screen print equipment. You're perfectly capable of burning your own screens and printing them. When should you use transfers? So custom transfers may save you money. Believe it or not. When you can use the sheet pricing, it'll take you less time and less money to heat print. And here's what we mean by that. I've got two pictures on my screen of what we call gang sheets. Gang sheets are this concept that the paper we print on here at Transfer Express is 11 1/4 by 14 inches. You can put whatever you want on that piece of paper. Fill it up with as many designs as you want. And this is one of those situations where you can actually save a lot of time and definitely money by using these gang sheets. We can print one sheet, as you can see on the left here, we can print one sheet that's got 6 Madison streaks all on the same page. So all you need to do is take a pair of scissors and cut those 6 transfers apart. All right, much easier to produce those transfers using the heat press than having to screen print on each individual sheet. We're producing one sheet that's got 6 designs on it. And the one on the right is actually even a better example, I think, because this has got 3 different designs. We've got Nature Reserve Newport, we've got Newport Dog Park, and then we've got sort of a left chest or maybe a design for a pair of shorts down there at the bottom right for Newport Nature Reserve as well. What we can do with this is, again, it's one sheet of paper. You're getting one sheet of paper that's got all 3 designs on it. All you have to do is cut them apart. It saves you a heck of a lot of time and money not having to burn all of those screens to print all of those different designs. We are doing all the rough stuff for you. So all you have to do is tell us how many sheets you need, and then we cut them apart. So you can definitely save cash and you can definitely save time especially. All that money and time you're going to spend burning these screens. I mean, let's stop and look at it for a second. These 3 designs are each 2 colors, a brown and a white. So you're going to have to burn a brown screen and a white screen for the big design, and then a brown screen and a white screen for the dog park design, and then a brown screen and a white screen for the left chest Newport Nature Reserve. So we're talking all those screens, plus then you're going to have to reclaim them too on top of everything else, clean them and get them ready to be used again. It's a very time-consuming, expensive process. When instead, you could simply put all 3 of these designs on the same sheet of paper and then order, say, 50 sheets from us here at Transfer Express. Those 50 sheets then would cost you one single per piece price because they're all on the same sheet of paper. And then you could easily take those 50 sheets and cut them apart, and you've got 50 full sizes, 50 heart sizes, and 50 dog parks. So you can see how you can certainly save time and money using the gang sheet feature. And again, that size of that paper is 11 1/4 by 14 inches. We do not charge you any extra for putting multiple designs on the same sheet of paper. As a matter of fact, we encourage it. Use up as much of that space as possible. It can be all the same image like you see on the left, or it can be different images like you see on the right. All right, so custom transfers may also save you money on small runs. Small runs are a pain for any screen printer. We all know this. Nobody wants to actually burn a screen and print only 5 shirts or even 10 shirts. There are plenty of us out there who don't want to print 10 shirts. We can certainly take care of that for you. Now, in the example that I'm showing you here, we've got a 2-color design. We've got blue and we've got gray. And we have a team that wants 20 pieces of this design. So you see what you can do is you can actually put 2 of these designs on a sheet, just as you see it here. And then you could print 10 gang sheets. Those 10 gang sheets would end up costing you $383 per design. So not bad at all. You can certainly save money this way. It's an economical way for you to do that small run of 20 pieces without breaking the bank. And notice that we're able to put 2 of these designs per sheet because the team chose something rectangular. And again, if the team comes to you looking for your input for the artwork, it's obviously it behooves you to encourage them to do something rectangular, thus allowing you to do a gang sheet like you see here. So including your time and your artist's time, could you do this for less? I bet you there's plenty of you out there who could certainly benefit from $383 per design. And now the way the math works out here, just in case anybody is familiar with our pricing or familiar with how it goes, because there are 20 pieces necessary for this order, we're doing 10 sheets, and each sheet is $767 per sheet, but that breaks down to $383 per design. And on top of all of this, what you'll do is you're going to get these 10 sheets, you're going to cut them apart with a pair of scissors, and then you can apply these transfers in only 4 seconds apiece. So we're not talking about a complicated application time. We're not talking about a complicated application process. It's simply 4 seconds to press these. So fast and economical for a small run. Another way you can save money by using transfers, events when you don't know a quantity. We've all had this happen, I'm sure, or we've had the chance to bid on this type of event. We have a lot of customers that come to us and tell us that they had a chance to go this direction, but they were afraid to do so. They didn't know exactly how to handle it. They didn't know exactly where to go with it. Transfers are the best way of handling these. Sometimes these events are benefits like this cancer walk that we're using the example of on the slide here, or they could be festivals, they could be local community events type situations. Regardless, when you're invited to or you have the chance to do event shirts like this, you don't really know necessarily how many pieces you need to make. And of course, as a screen printer, if you were to try and accommodate this event, you're going to have to take a rough guess as to how many pieces to screen print. How many pieces are you going to sell? And then, of course, you got to hope that you sell all of them. You have to hope that you sell them all because you have screen printed all of these shirts. And you hope that you print enough, because if you end up printing, say, 250 shirts, and then we end up getting requests for 350, then that's 100 shirts you missed out on. So obviously, you've got a little bit of a gamble here when you do these kind of events and you're a screen printer. Transfers, you get this great benefit of not having to commit your stock. Okay, so let's review the situation here. The event is letting you sell shirts. They have 500 walkers total registered for this Walk for a Cure event. We know that typically 25% of those registered people will purchase an event shirt. So you stock 150 transfers of this slick design, and then you've got your box of blank shirts, 150 shirts. So you literally don't lose your shirt if the weather's bad or if sales aren't as high as expected. So if you don't end up selling all of these, all you have to do is throw the transfers away. You still have the blank shirts ready to go for another event or for another use somewhere in your shop, another customer. It is a lot more economical to have to throw away some extra transfers as opposed to having a whole bunch of shirts that you've screen printed that didn't sell. So you can see how you can save a lot of money, and this actually allows you to be flexible. These are jobs, as I said, we talk to a lot of people who tell us that they were afraid to do this kind of live event situation because there were too many unknowns. They just didn't know what to expect. They didn't know how to go about doing it. Now you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen. When you use transfers, you just make an educated guess based on the math, and then the worst thing that happens is you have too many transfers that need to get thrown away as opposed to having a whole bunch of shirts that you need to pitch. So if your Walk for a Cure event got rained out and not very many people bought shirts, when you have the transfers, it's still terrible. You got to throw the transfers away, but it's a lot more easy to deal with than throwing away all the shirts that you printed for the event because they were screen printed and now they're useless. So another great way to save money when you're doing the event thing. Individual names. This is something that I've always been surprised when I see people actually screen printing individual names. It is so much easier to do transfers when we're doing individual names. To player names, player numbers is one thing, but you can also be talking about doing individual one-liners for shirts. Like you see the gentleman in the red shirt here is wearing something that says Barb is 50. It's still an individual player name, but instead of putting Smith or Ferguson or what have you, we've actually just printed Barbas 50. So you see how this concept of player names, you can use them for a whole bunch of different things, and it's so much easier than screen printing. Even if we go back to sports and having to do player names, to have to burn a screen for one Ferguson and one Smith, and it's a gigantic pain. Even if you're going to burn them all onto one screen and then try to tape them off and cover them up, the process is not easy no matter how you slice it. To actually order screen printed transfers and then heat press those onto the shirts is worlds easier. So the transfers that we're looking at here, the screen printed individual names that we're talking about, they're $1.75 per line. Now we call it per line instead of per name because just like the whole Barbas 50 example, it doesn't have to be a name. It can be whatever you want. So it's $1.75 per line, and a line can be a phrase, it can be numbers, it can be text, whatever. If you order by 11 a.m., they ship the same day. So it's not even a problem of that you're not going to get the transfer soon enough. We can ship the transfer same day even if you order by 11 a.m. Now that's Eastern time. So certainly doable time-wise as well. And here's the nice thing. They come centered already on the strip of paper. When you take them out of the box, they're centered and spaced on that strip of paper, so you don't have to bust out a T-square or a ruler or anything. You simply just line up the piece of paper on the back and go. Real easy. Not a problem at all. So if you have ever tried to screen print individual names, you know it's a gigantic pain. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of money, and it's almost a borderline waste, actually. So you'll see that this is a whole lot easier to do individual names via transfers instead of trying to do them for screen print. And it's economic. $1.75 per line is not a bad price at all. Actually, what we see a lot of people use these for are those one-off lines. The people who want to make a joke shirt for a couple friends, what have you. We recently had somebody on our staff here at Transfer Express who is a maid of honor for a wedding, and she made bridesmaid shirts, customized bridesmaid shirts with different phrases for the bride and the bridesmaids using the individual name product. So definitely a great way to save money, and definitely a great thing for you to do instead of trying to screen print these individually. Now, for the record, these are the different font choices and the different styles that you have available to you when you're doing the individual names. Now, we call these express names. The express names are available in Arial, Full Block, Hercules, Impress, Vogue, and the brand new one there at the very bottom is the Rex style. You can make them arch, straight, or vertical. And letter heights include 1, 2, 2.5, and 3-inch letter heights. The whole point here is we're going to accommodate you to the best of our ability. You can opt to make these, mind you can opt to make them small enough to fit on the muff pocket of a hoodie, or you can opt to make them big enough to put on the back of a t-shirt. You can also do the vertical express names down the leg of sweatpants, or perhaps down the sleeve of a sweatshirt. So you see we have enough options here where you really have a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of different places you can go with this product. And all of them easier than direct screen printing. Numbers, I mentioned it earlier. Numbers are one of those things that I can't understand why people would try to screen print these directly anymore. Now that you can purchase screen printed numbers like this, screen printed transfer numbers, it is worlds easier than trying to screen print these yourself. The numbers that we sell are pre-centered on pieces of paper. So you don't have to bust out T-squares or rulers. You don't have to measure anything. It's all done by lining up via the eyeball. It's so simple. To have to screen print numbers is such a pain, having to line everything up and having to burn the screens. And unless you have the special equipment that makes it easier, it's not going to be easy. And even then, it's a pain. So screen printing numbers is one of those things you just don't want to do. And just about every screen printer out there will tell you they hate to do this. So the whole goal is we're trying to make your life a little bit easier. There's no reason to do this. If you don't like screen printing numbers, there's no reason to have to do it. We're giving you a great option to get out of it. The screen printed transfer numbers are great for this. And again, the screen printed transfer numbers are screen printing. So you don't have to worry about getting some product that's, some kind of other transfer product that's maybe just dyed adhesive or what have you. It's actual screen printing. It's actual plastisol. So it's going to match the plastisol that you may have on the front or you may have already decorated with. So the player numbers are a great way to save yourself time and money. We have a lot of screen print customers out there who actually purchase from us simply to purchase for the numbers. They don't buy anything else other than the player numbers. So plenty of customers out there that see the value in that. Definitely not something that screen printers enjoy doing. And again, I mentioned a second ago how the numbers are on pieces of paper. They're pre-spaced and pre-centered. So as you can see from the Anderson here, the Anderson was simple to do because we just had to put the 2 and the 4 right next to each other. We just butted the corners up against themselves, and that was it. We didn't have to bust out the ruler to make sure they were centered. Good question, Linda. What about numbers on sleeves? Numbers on sleeves are still simple. And actually, we're going to talk about sleeves and some of those hard to print on things in a couple minutes, actually, on one of the other slides. But to answer Linda's question, which is very pertinent, it works exactly the same. We have 4-inch numbers that look great on sleeves. You could easily do whether it's like a football jersey sleeve or it's just a t-shirt sleeve. We have 4-inch numbers that work great, and it's the same thing. They come on the pre-centered pieces of paper. All you got to do is have your sleeve on the heat press, and it takes some maneuvering. If you're pressing a sleeve on a heat press, sometimes you want a print perfect pad, a nice firm pad to put up inside the sleeve so you have a flat surface, but it's all very simple. And we're going to talk about that topic in just a minute, actually, Linda. So good question. But so one of the things I want to mention to everybody here, too, you see on the slide here, we're talking about perfect pairing. Perfect pairing is this concept where, again, you've heard me say the numbers are pre-centered and pre-spaced on the little squares of paper that they come shipped on. The names that we talked about a minute ago are also pre-centered and pre-spaced. So when you're doing the names and the numbers all together on the back of the same garment, you truly and honestly only have to line the pieces of paper up. And again, when we say line the papers up, we're talking about putting the double-digit number. We're talking about putting the 2 numbers corner to corner, just like you see in the photograph at the top right there. We're just talking about lining them up like that. Nothing special. Then when you're putting the name above the numbers, you simply just butt the bottom of the name against the top of the numbers. Everything is all pre-centered and pre-spaced. It's actually very, very easy. Part of training here at Transfer Express when you begin employment with us, one of the very first things you do is press your last name and a double-digit number on the back of your very first shirt on the very first day of employment. And it's always funny to see our new employees when they do this for the first time and realize, oh gosh, that was so simple. There's always somebody in the crowd who realizes, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was going to be that easy. And again, 1 and 2 color options, over 50 choices. We have a whole bunch of different styles and different colors available. And we do have low temperature applications specifically for heat sensitive polyester. I know there are some screen printers out there that do not like to deal with performance wear and other heat sensitive polyesters, and we have options for that as well. All right, so Fullcolor. Fullcolor is something that no screen printer likes to hear. Fullcolor can be a gigantic pain. We offer Fullcolor options that make using transfers so much easier than actually trying to print any of the Fullcolor type of processes you might have. Our digital options, our CAD prints, make the Fullcolor product very easy to handle. We have products for all the different transfer type, or rather fabric types as well. We have products for nylon, products for lycra and spandex. We have products that work on leather. So our Fullcolor digital transfers are actually incredibly versatile. If you're a screen printer, you've probably had those situations arise where somebody asks about printing on a garment that you don't have the ability to print on, or you don't have the proper chemical additives, or maybe it's just something you know that you don't like to do for whatever reason. We actually make life much easier for you by having these digital transfers that go on just about everything out there. And they're printed in CMYK, so you can do photos, you can do other process art, just like you see on the slide here. On the right, we've got a picture of an Under Armour shirt, actually, that has a photograph of the football team. in a football shape. That's pretty slick, right? And then on the left, you see that we've actually got, it's not even a photograph, it's just a regular piece of artwork, but it's full color. It's Belleville Tigers. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an actual full color little cartoony tiger guy in the basketball there. So both of these are things that you wouldn't want to screen print necessarily because of all the colors involved, the detail involved. There wouldn't be any easy way to do it anyhow. So full color transfers are definitely the way to go in this area as opposed to trying to print anything. Okay, this is the slide that I was waiting for. I am so excited about this. I got to tell you guys, if any of you were with me last month during last month's webinar, I got to give you a real brief preview of our brand new product, and it was just a real brief preview. It was real quick. But all of you who are with me right now on this webinar are going to be the first people to get to hear about this. We are so excited here at Transfer Express. We have a brand new product that's going to be available in October. The product is called Stretch Litho. Stretch Litho. This is so exciting. Stretch Litho takes all of the benefits that we love about digital, plus all of the things we love about screen print, and combines it into one solid product. It has the full color printing capacity of digital. As you see in the picture here, we've got some color happening here. So same concept as digital artwork. You can do full color, you can do lots of colors, you can do photographs, what have you. But the texture is as soft and pleasant as screen printing because it is screen printing. The minimums are low, the turnaround is fast, the opacity is phenomenal, it's environmentally friendly. I could go on and on about all the benefits of this brand new Stretch Litho product. We are incredibly excited about this, and I hope everybody out there is listening. In October, we're going to be releasing it, and we'll have samples ready to send to anybody who's interested come October. So I encourage everybody to check back with us and call in, ask about Stretch Litho once October rolls around. We are ready to put this out there. We're going to make a big difference. You're going to see a product that you've probably never seen before. So definitely exciting. In terms of a screen printer, this is going to be exciting for a screen printer because we've all had those customers come to us that tell us they have a photograph or they have full color artwork that they want to do. Now, our digital process is great where we print onto a piece of vinyl and then CAD cut that vinyl out. It allows you to do the photographs in full color, but in the end, it is a piece of vinyl. And there are customers that will come to us and tell us that they do not like the feel. They don't like the texture of the vinyl or the heaviness of the vinyl, or it's not what they were hoping for. Stretch Litho is going to be phenomenal because it allows you to do that full color photographic artwork, but it's not vinyl. There is no plastic or vinyl involved in this product. It is all screen print. So in the end, the product you get is that bright, vibrant, full color of digital, but with the soft texture of nice screen printing. So I hope everyone's excited about it. Definitely call in and ask once we get closer to October. And don't forget that name, Stretch Litho. All right. So this is going to speak a little bit towards sort of the question Linda was asking us earlier here. So hard to print items. There are plenty of things out there that people ask us to customize these days. Like I said at the very beginning of the webinar, times have changed. It's not just full t-shirt fronts anymore, man. There's a lot of things out there that people want customized. And we find ourselves in these situations where if we're screen printers and we're trying to customize some of these items, there is just no easy way to do it. And that's where transfers come into play. It is so much easier to decorate some of these items with transfers than it ever would be to try and direct screen print onto them. I think the shoes at the top of the slide are actually one of the best examples of this. I could not imagine trying to actually screen print onto these shoes. There's no easy way that would happen. I don't doubt that there's people out there who could find a way, but there's no easy way for that to happen. To where with the proper shoe platen that you see in that same photograph behind the shoes there, with the proper shoe platen, you can easily put transfers on shoes. Same goes for koozies and the bags that you see there on the bottom left. Those polypropylene bags, that's another product that I've heard screen printers over the years kind of swear and get mad about polypropylene. Polypropylene is super heat sensitive. We all know that. Transfers are great because we have transfers that apply at low temperatures that you can easily customize that polypropylene stuff and not worry about melting it or scarring it in any sort of way. So definitely these hard to print items are another place where transfers are just a godsend. So much easier to use than actual application. Mike's asking a great question here. Can we apply to rain gear? And actually, this is a good question, Mike, for a couple of reasons. First of all, when somebody asks a question like, can we apply to rain gear or can I apply to fill in the blank? The question is always going to be, what's it made out of? What exactly is the product we're discussing made out of? Obviously, if we're talking about a product, using rain gear as an example, if it's made out of a plastic, if it's some kind of plastic, whether it's a low grade or a high grade thick plastic or a thin plastic, the question is going to come down to, is it heat sensitive? So when we're talking about that concept of can we apply to fill in the blank, the best thing to ask yourself is, okay, well, the item that we're trying to heat apply to, is it heat sensitive? If the answer is yes, like plastics would be, then the next question, of course, is going to be, well, okay, if it's heat sensitive, what's the maximum capacity of heat that it can take? At Transfer Express, we have transfers that do go on at 275 degrees. So if your product can withstand 275 degrees of heat, we probably have a product that's going to work on it. I hope that helps, Mike. So continuing on with this concept of the hard to print items, there's interchangeable plantens that you see on the shoes on the left-hand side there. There's interchangeable plantens that make life easier for these hard to print on items. The plantens come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, and this is also something where if you got into or looked at our business many years ago, this has definitely evolved over the years. The planten market has definitely gotten much more involved. So it's beyond just plain rectangle or circular plantens. We have a shoe planten, we've got a koozie planten, we have the leg and sleeve planten. There's a ton of different things, and that speaks to the question we had earlier. We've got a sleeve planten that you can actually put sleeves and legs onto to make your life easier when you're applying on those items. So there's a planten to help with any of your hard to print on items that you could possibly imagine. So definitely when you're looking at something weird, when you have a weird request about a product that you're not used to printing on, something that's a little bit outside the norm, definitely one of the ways to go would be a different platen, a different size platen. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the physics behind why do you need a different platen to do that? When you're pressing on something that's a little bit weird, you want a nice flat surface. So whether it's a shoe or it's a koozie or it's a sleeve or it's a bag or whatever it is, you want a really nice, smooth, flat, totally flat surface with no seams or buttons or anything in the way. So having the different size platens really helps with that. It really helps with getting a nice flat surface. So for example, the koozie platen that you see on the right-hand side there, using that koozie platen, you can do 8 koozies all at the same time, and they're nice and flat and stretched out. So you get good application. You don't have to worry about being under applied because of the seam that's on the back or the side of the koozies. All right, everybody. So I hope everybody was enjoying these 5 reasons that you should use the heat printing even when you do screen printing. I hope this was educational for everybody. It was a lot of information, I know. I threw a lot at you in 35 minutes here. So I saw some of the questions that were asked. We got back to everybody, I think. If you have any questions that you think of afterwards, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Shoot us an email, info@transferexpress.com. The tips that I talked about today, all these bits and pieces, these are all things that are actually discussed in our blogs. So if you've never seen our blogs at Transfer Express, please don't hesitate to check our blogs out. I see a question come in from Jeff about what are the price breaks for the sheet pricing on the stretch litho. Jeff, the pricing for the stretch litho is likely going to be the same price breaks as it is for our screen print product. The prices themselves will be different, but the actual breaks will likely be the same. But just as we answered the last gentleman via chat, that's going to be available in October. So you'll have to check back in October for a more detailed answer to that question. But So thank you everybody for attending. I really appreciate it. We're going to have a really fun webinar next month also, how to select apparel for heat printing. I hope everybody joins me for that. That's going to be October 8th from 2 to 3, same time, same place. And again, if you missed anything, I saw a lot of people joined us there towards the end. Thank you everybody who came, even if you came while we were already going. We've been recording this webinar the entire time, so we'll definitely post that recording. And one other little thing before everybody goes, I want to let everybody know that all of those of you who are attending, you are going to receive a brand new brochure from us at Transfer Express. We have made up a brochure of how to add the advantages of heat printing to your screen printing business. It's a brochure that's actually geared for screen printers and how we can help you. So all of you attending are going to get a brand new copy of that brochure that we just came out with. So keep an eye on the mail for that. It's going to be all of those bits and pieces that we talked about today, just in brochure form, actually. So anyhow, thank you everybody for attending. Thank you everybody for being here. If you're looking for the recording, check back tomorrow. And I will see everybody on October 8th. Thanks for coming.